Solidarity for the nurses for Saturday, and what should we take as the next step after Saturday? Is there any possibility we could see solidarity action, lunchtime walkouts from schools, from buses, from other workplaces? I think we should try and tease that out in the next half an hour or 40 minutes that we have left. I'm not telling people what to say, but those are some of the issues we need to sit here and take serious. Before I do that, there's two people I want to let in very briefly. One is Tara, who is about to emigrate. She's a qualified nurse. And just very briefly, Tara, do you want to say your story to the people here?
My name is Tara McCormick. I'm a fully qualified children's and adults nurse. So I actually did a 4.5-year degree programme in Trinity. I was the first of my family to go to college. I'm not sure exactly who accepted pressed accept instead of reject on my application, but should we lock it into that? There's days now though I wish they had rejected my application to become a nurse. I went to college thinking I was going to better myself. I thought I was going to, do the thing that I always wanted to do. People used to say nursing is a vocation. It's not. It is a profession. But it takes a very special person to become a nurse. And I'm not just saying that because I am one. Nursing has one of the highest dropout rates because it is something that you really have to love to be able to do. I'm newly qualified. I have my 2 degrees. I can nurse everything from a neonate all the way up to the person who's in that bed taking their last breath. And yet, I can't do that. My love for nursing is gone because you're asking me to nurse in conditions that are deplorable. It is impossible to think you're doing the right thing anymore. You can't give what you want to give to your patients. I felt days, I go home from my shifts, I go in, I do my 13 hours. I generally do more because you have to stay back, you have to chart everything, you have to make sure everything's ready for night staff, you have to hand over. You're still doing medication at 10 o'clock at night when it should be done at 8. It's impossible. I go home and I'm guilty that I couldn't give what I needed to give to my patients. I'm sorry I couldn't sit with that dying patient that little bit longer and held their hand as they took their last breath. Or when I have sat with them, I felt guilty because I'm thinking of what else I have to do when I leave this room. I leave that room and I have to walk into a 6 bed and I have to I have to take the abuse from the families who are saying, why didn't she get this done today? Why is that not done? What's happening here? To go in smiling, happy, and try and get on with it. And that's fine, we'll do it. But there is a massive emotional and physical burnout on nurses. And like Phil said, this is pay, retention, recruitment, it's all linked in with the conditions. Now I've personally got an offer to go to an paediatric intensive care unit over in London. They're offering me 39,000 sterling a year. They're giving me my 3 months free accommodation, 3 months free travel. They've given me absolute guarantee that for my first 6 months I have a named preceptor. And as you know, in Ireland, as a student nurse, you do your 35 hours free of charge for the first, 4 years for me, and then you do your internship, which is 14 grand for 9 months, which is nothing as well. And you're still working your HCA shifts on top of that, so you're working 70 hours as a nurse, so you're burnt out before you're even qualified. But they're offering me a guaranteed preceptor and co-preceptor, so that I can actually become the proper nurse that I need to be. They're offering me free postgraduate education after 12 months. None of that has been offered to me in Ireland. I'm being told if you're lucky you're going to make 29,000, and sure, if you do your overtime we'll give you a few extra bob for that. But that's working in patient ratios of 1 nurse to 11 patients. And I know people say 1:8, and we're kind of lucky if we've 1:8. Sorry, any shifts I've done, it's been 1:11 on average. This can't go on. And if the government want to tease this out and let it go and let it go and let it go, we're all still going to leave. We don't need action in 6 months' time. We don't need action on this in 12 months' time. We need action on this now. We need our government to listen. We need this sorted now. This is a problem that should have been sorted 2-3 years ago. Not something that we should be fighting for in another 6 months' time. So people like me aren't leaving. We can't lose the next chapter.
Andrew Kagan, construction worker, also accounts for people for profit. I'm calling on all construction workers on Saturday to come on Saturday 12:30, Garden Remembrance, and support the nurses in the strike. It's extremely important that construction workers support the nurses in their pay deal. It's the largest pay march in the history of the state. The reason why I want the construction workers to support the nurses is that if there's an accident on site, we have paramedics who come to the site and take our workers to the hospital. And who looks after our construction workers when they have an accident? It's nurses. We need to support our nurses now in their hour of need. So 12:30, Garden Remembrance, come, bring your heart out, bring your banners and support the nurses' pay deal.